All right, well, guys, welcome to the stream. Today, I have some stuff for a school project that I need to be working on. For the software engineering class, we are working on the social network site. And so I have a couple of front end tasks that I need to knock out of the way today. So, to give you an idea of what we're working on, let me just launch it. Localhost. Yeah, let's just close that up. Close this and close that. All right. So I'll just resolve a few errors I'm already seeing in the components library. Shared components. This needs to be a post.css. I thought one of my other teammates fixed this already, but apparently not. Rename. Yeah, so even over here, I'm still seeing that post.css is, for some reason, not changing. I don't really care. We don't really need that working. But anyway, I can relaunch that. I do really want to get like background music working for these streams, just because it's probably super dry to just hear me. All right. Yeah, so this is I guess, the main page we're looking at, which is basically, what is this? Just our profile page with the profile picture and a list of our posts. I actually don't think I'm logged in. Sahil Kapoor and password. Oh yeah, servers aren't running. So CD API source venv bin activate. So we're using Flask for the backend, which is a Python wrapper which allows us to host sort of backend endpoints. So we just got that running, and I can log in. So what we need to get working for today is we have a list of shared posts. So I guess we don't have a timeline view working, but if you have like posts that you've bookmarked, kind of like on Reddit, we need to implement an ability where you can see what your saved posts are. So I believe my teammates have already done the work of setting up the backend for this, and what I'll have to work on right now is just getting the actual front end to display those saved posts. So it should be just / saved posts. Not that, not that. Oh, these are all hidden keys. Let's open a new tab. All right, we're going to localhost 5000 / post states. Okay, and this is going to be a post with some JSON that I do not know yet. So let's go ahead and look at that. Yeah, I really wish like GitHub would show you your repos on top, but it's all good. Let's see. No, this is going to be not my repo. It's Isha's repo. All right. API, we are looking for / post states. And we do username and no, that's not right. Post states is the wrong endpoint, sorry. Saved posts, okay. So what is that? It's the username, start, end. Okay, I don't know why we have an end. I really hope that's optional. So let's just try passing the username. So we're going to look at body, and we're going to add a JSON body, and we're going to go ahead and pass that. Before I continue, I want to invite my teammates onto the stream. So I actually don't know how to share. Share to. And do I have Discord? I do. I'm gonna go ahead and post. We're live, boys. First stream. Bear with me. All right. So, anyways, back to save posts. We're passing in a JSON with the username. In this case, it's just Sahil Kapoor. See what that gives me. All right, I'm pretty sure I have to pass a bearer token in the header. So let me just look this structure up for that. Yeah. I'm going to pass a header with authorization bearer token. So Postman allows us to do that fairly easily. We can go to auth, and we can add a bearer token with the value that is going to be my access token. And I think I can just do local storage.get access token. No, what is it? It's defined in login. Local storage.get item. Okay, so that's my string. And we can just pass that in here without the quotes. Okay, so it looks like we do need the start and the end, which is kind of funny. I don't think I'll have any save posts under this account right now. So let's see what parameters I'm missing. All right, we need start and end. Start and, yeah, it's there. Let's go ahead and send that over, see what we're missing. What am I missing in this request? I did send this stream over to my teammates, so I hope they can see it. In fact, let's share it with a few others. I'm just sharing the link with some of my friends right now because this chat is a little quiet. Who else? Yeah, go ahead. Serial mode is enabled. Stay safe. Yeah, thank you, sir. Post expect the username. Shoot, I was trying to get saved posts. Might be. All right, saved posts. Oh, that's an error. I pass as the start and end if I want to retrieve all posts. Let's pass that error. Anyway, so in the meantime, I just wanted to see the shape of saved posts right now to understand exactly what I'm returning. Oh, sorry, gotta get rid of those. How do I go back to live? Oh, I got 3 viewers. I think I'm one of them, but anyway. Yeah, so I wanted to see the shape of saved posts first, just so that when I'm actually constructing the front end and I'm passing values to the actual components, I have an idea of exactly what kind of data I'm dealing with, how I'll render those components. I guess while we're waiting to figure out what this error is, should I just try 10? Getting the same error. I've actually never seen errors in this shape. I think this is generated by Flask itself. But this is interesting. Oh, you know what this is? This is probably Flask's like beautified error responses. So again, backend's not really my core focus for this project. So sec. All right, sorry, I was responding to my roommate's messages. So yeah, I'm not going to worry about this right now. What I'm going to go ahead and do is on the front end, I'm just going to go ahead and generate the page right now and pass it dummy values for what I think the data is going to look like. And once we actually get this response working with actual data, we can go back and figure out what exactly the data shape will look like and how we'll appropriately render the front end. Okay, so let's flip back to, this is going to be a new component, I think, so let's go ahead and close all these. And what we're going to do is, I'm going to go ahead and create this under our user info sort of directory, because I guess it's kind of similar to timeline. So yeah, let's go ahead and create a new component. The way I create components in React is my naming convention is always uppercase for a component, and I create a directory for each component. That directory will contain the JSX file, which is the actual React, as well as the CSS for that particular component. I find that separating CSS files makes it much easier to go in and edit specific components as I need them. And for shared components, typically we top factor them into another directory. So you can see the shared components directory there, which contains components that are shared across the application. So in our case, we're creating saved posts. So I'm going to go ahead and do saved posts. I'm not a fan of putting underscores in component names, so I will not. I guess someone else did though. So within that, we're going to have our saved posts.jsx, which is going to correspond to the saved post page. And we're also going to create a saved posts.css, which is going to be the corresponding style sheet for that page. And close that up. Cool, and this is sort of the boilerplate we are going to work with. Every React component has very similar, pieces to it, including our import React from React, which is the basic line we need, and then the actual component itself. So I think it's export or default export. I always forget. Default export function, nope, I flipped it. Function saved posts. And we'll leave props empty for now. Cool. So this is just like, a very basic React component with literally no code. All this component will do is export this function right here. And this function, we are going to return some HTML. So I'll just pass an empty div for now. And before we get into the actual coding, I'm going to go ahead and add the route. So we can just copy any of these routes. And we're going to say saved posts corresponds to the component saved posts, which, /user info. Oh, wow, it did it. automatically find it. That's pretty cool. I didn't know VS Code did that. So yeah, I guess it automatically imported it from the correct directory, and we can now route to it right here. So flipping back over to the front end, let's go to saved posts. And this is it, right? This is the corresponding page with one empty div. If I pass some text in it, we'll see our little text show up right here. So everything we can do, we can work off of this page. Typically, when I'm working on my front-end components, I work off of a Figma. So I would have designed some page already, so I'd have an exact idea of what I'm building. Figma is really cool because we can also like import CSS classes from Figma. Let's go ahead and pull the Weave Figma page up. Again, I don't have an actual Figma for this particular page, but this is generally what it would look like. So these are some of the, like, you know, the wireframes for our current application. So yeah, here's like, I guess again, since we don't have like an actual component to work off of, I'm just going to look at this for thematic elements and just implement, you know, something based on that for now. All right, so just working top down first, we need a navbar. We actually have a navbar component defined, already in some of the other pages, like profile. And this is already defined in shared components. So to start, I'm just going to import the navbar. So it's going to be import navbar from, and we have defined the navbar, I think 2 directories up in shared component / navbar. So first thing I can do is just put a navbar in here. And there we go. Our navbar is up. So we can actually define the content for this page right now. So this is going to be saved, posts, page, content. Yeah, we really need some background music on the stream. I'm wearing headphones, so I have, you know, my Spotify playing, but I think that just listening to this like totally dry with nothing else in the background is probably ear rape. So yeah, for next stream we'll set that up. Anyways, so we have our CSS class defined, which is basically just going to be a wrapper component, or a wrapper for everything else that we actually put in here. And what we actually are going to put in here is going to be just like, you know, a list of posts, right? Eventually, I guess we'll have like some sort of like side navigation and maybe some other elements, but for now, it's just going to be literally a list of posts that appear, something like this, which just kind of goes down. Now, I haven't actually looked yet, but I believe that one of my other teammates has created a post component already. So I have no idea what this looks like, but let's see. So it's a post. It takes in a post ID and a username. It fetches for the particular, I guess, post ID. Let's see. We have headers. Oh, endpoint. Okay, yeah, for a particular post ID, and it gets that particular ID. Got it. Personally, the way I would have structured this is I would have passed the post the actual data. For example, like, you know, JSON saying, here's the title, here's the, I don't know, like content, images, etc. And what that will allow us to do is, you know, when we're given like a list of posts just in JSON format, we can go ahead and render those, you know, just as they are. With this, I guess we'll have to pass this like you know, each component will need its own post ID. So we're gonna have to see what the response from this endpoint looks like. Because if this gives us back the actual post data for what each post contains, then we'll need to restructure the post just a little bit so that the post isn't getting the data for itself. We're actually giving the data to the post. But again, we're going to go ahead and wait to see this. All right, I don't know what the error here is. Okay. I do need to make a decision on how I want to get the posts, because again, this component would just need a post ID. The way which I would have thought about it is that you just pass the post all the actual information you need to display. So if this endpoint returns us post IDs, then we can go ahead and continue with this. I won't need to touch anything. But if we're returning post information in JSON, then I'll need to restructure this so that instead of accepting a post ID and fetching the data itself, I'll give it exactly what content that particular post should need. Also regarding testing of this component, I don't have any saved posts in my profile just because I don't think we've actually included the feature to save posts yet. So yeah. Oh, perfect. If you're watching my stream, you'll see why that's just right. All right, so if it's a list of post IDs, I can go ahead and move forward. So I'm going to go ahead and just put a hook in here, use effect, some function, and this is just going to run on the initial load. Okay, and I'm going to comment this whole block out, but basically we're going to fetch, actually let's comment it after. So const endpoint is equal to HTTP localhost 5000 / what was it, saved posts. All right, fetch endpoint dot then parse the response from that as JSON dot JSON, and then dot then data, and then pass that data to the rest of this function. And I'm going to put a catch on here, error console.log error. Oops, this is a function. So that closes the function. All right, console.log error and alert error in console. All right. What the hell? Okay, well, we know it's not working, so I'm just gonna ignore that. Okay, and then with this data, I guess we'll have a hook in here. I'm just gonna say const, I did not do this correctly, use state and use effect. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna say const pay posts. I don't think posts is a very descriptive variable name, but it's fine for now. Update posts is going to be use state null. I could initialize this to an empty list, The reason I want to set it to null right now is because on the front end I can check before I'm like rendering, I can check if it's null and display like a loading animation or some sort of element to let the user know that data is still loading, rather than just like display a blank page as things load. So we're just going to stick that as null. All right, and then we can say if posts is equal to null. I could say if not posts, but this is just a nice way of putting it. Else. So let's go ahead and define what our actual content is going to look like. So posts content. So if it's null, we can go ahead and say something like, posts are loading. Otherwise, we can say post content is equal to posts. Oh, that's wrong. So post is actually going to be a list, as Mason said, right? No, please don't return it to me as a string. I'm going to pretend I didn't read that. Let's just make this post ID list. Okay. Because essentially this is going to be this variable will contain the list of post IDs as returned from the backend. Okay, so we can go ahead and put update posts to data. So data is going to be the actual JSON returned from the backend, which should be a list of posts. So we can directly update post ID list to contain that. So what we're going to do is how do I want to do this? I guess we can initially set this to an empty list, and to still get that like loading element, if something's not rendered, we'll just check if this list length is 0. Okay, so post ID list dot for each post ID. We can go ahead and say append to, post content. All right, and I'm just going to say if post content dot length is equal to 0, posts are loading. Yeah, we're just going to change the variable. It's fine. All right, so walking through this from the top, we're going to make a fetch call to this endpoint. It's going to return us some list of IDs. We're going to go through each. So when I call update posts right here to data, it'll set post ID to this data variable. And then we're going to iterate through that list, get the post ID out of each one. And then what we're going to do is we're going to push a new posts component to the post content array. So we're going to push a post, and we need to import the post shared component from literally this path. I'll just retype it. Shared component / post. Okay. Now posts expect a post ID and a username. So I can say post ID is equal to post ID, and the username is equal to, I'm not sure what username you want to see here. I'm assuming this is, actually, I have no idea. To state point, post states. What is post states? Post states special per user post data pulling. I do not know what that means. Post states. Okay, I will look at that later. For now, I guess the only user I'm testing on is myself anyway, so I'm just going to pass my own username, Sahil Kapoor. All right, what is this error I'm seeing up here? Import React use state use effect from React. Yep, that is typically how you structure it. React, comma, use state to use effect. Oopsies, what? Oh, automatically updated it. Silly VS Code. Okay, so yeah, I guess it's trying to fetch right. Oh, error in console, yeah, that's right. Cool, yeah, so it's trying to make this request right now. There's some error on the back end, which is essentially not allowing us to see the posts. So what I'm gonna do, I was talking about earlier, is just comment this block out and instead go ahead and say post ID list is equal to some array, which is just going to be empty for now because I don't know any post ID lists or post IDs which I've saved. So yeah, that's fine. I think as this is, you know what, let's go ahead and do this. As this is, this component should actually function once this is resolved. Again, I don't know exactly what shape data is, but oh no, actually, what am I saying? This is still wrong. One last thing I need to do is just pass post content into this page. Yeah, I know there's an error. Just chill out. Yeah, so what this will do is this is just going to stick a bunch of posts into this right here. I guess we will need one more wrapper. Saved posts container. So what I'm envisioning saved posts. So saved post content is going to be, you know, all the content that'll be on this page, which again I don't know exactly what that'll contain right now. For now, I'm just going to have, you know, the list of posts that you see right here. The reason I have a separate container specifically for the posts themselves is because, as you can see, like over here we have this like gray border, and we're going to want, you know, some element like in the middle which is going to center them. I don't want to apply those CSS classes to everything on the page, so I've just created, you know, another inner container that will essentially center them, and maybe add some padding in the top and bottom or whatnot. Since I can't actually see the post right now, I don't know exactly what what kinds of, you know, CSS I should add. So I'm just gonna do something that, like, say centers it, just add some padding from the top and the bottom, and that'll be it. So saved post container, let's make this display block, center that margin 0 pix auto, and so let's say margin top, nope, margin, no, margin top. Let's set that to, like, I don't know, 30 pixels or something. And margin bottom, we're gonna make like, I don't know, like 50. It's fine. So that's just centered like whatever posts actually come up over here on the page. Still can't see them for now, but with that we can go ahead and at least push. So I have a special script I've written that just does, you know, updates it. Okay, so we've added saved posts, and I'm just going to say add saved posts page and let that push. All right, well, until this is resolved, don't know what I should do. Okay, please make it a list if possible. Should be possible, but there might be some issue they're running into. Cool, 1 viewer. That's me. So at this point, I think I can chill. Just pushed saved posts page. it should run when backend issue is resolved. Oh, you know what? It will actually not, because I am not passing the correct body right now. So this post is not the end of it, or this fetch. We need to actually make this a post request. So method post, and we need to pass the correct header, which is what? Yeah, it's going to be passing this. Yeah, I really feel like I could top factor a lot of stuff from like fetching to an endpoint, just because I think we're going to do this on literally every single page. So that is right, and then body is going to be json.stringify this. And in this request, what are we passing? A username, start, and end. Username, start, end. And I don't know whose username, I guess this is the username of the user itself, but I think the access token should actually be identifying the user. So I'm going to leave this blank, just leave a comment saying, should this be identified, ID'd by the access token? The reason we want it to actually be identified by the access token and not just a JSON parameter is because anyone can come in and actually run a fetch request, right? Like I can just go in my console, open it up and just start writing fetches, right? Like literally everything I've written right here, I could just dump back into the console here. And, since this is running on my client, right, and actually not running on the back end, this means any user on the site can go ahead and run fetches here. If we're IDing by the username, then when just some random person is writing a fetch, they can actually pass any username in that request, but saved posts need to be hidden to only the user who has saved them, right? So we should not be IDing by username here. Ideally, that should be done by the access token, and I'm pretty sure the backend team has actually done that already. So I don't know why they need a username here, but I will just leave it for completeness. Anyway, so that should be a fully functioning request, which is probably just failing because, yeah, of this crazy error. This isn't even like Unicode. This is like, I don't know what encoding this is, but that is not an issue I will be looking at today. So anyways, let's go ahead and push that. Fix request body with saved posts fetch. Okay. I don't want to call it a day already here. Backend issue is resolved. Also, how are we... Yeah, I guess the other issue is like, we don't actually have a way to save posts right now. Like, I don't think we even have a way to create posts unless I'm wrong. I think there might be something working here. Oh, maybe there is. Hi. Let's not make this anonymously create post. I don't know if this actually works. I think it's working. Might not have any like confirmation on it, but use what the fuck. Create post, yeah, 200. Cool. I guess that worked. If I go back to my profile, okay. I think it's creating the post. I guess we just haven't implemented the functionality to actually like see them. This is super annoying. Saved posts. Nope, that is not the right one. I'm looking at profile. All right, well, no posts right now. So yeah, I guess, I mean, if we don't have a way to actually make posts, I don't think we can be saving posts yet. So even if we got this functionality working for actually seeing your saved posts, there would be nothing because I don't think we have saved posts yet. But functionality is there. I guess once we get posts working, that other page will be up already, so that's fine. Anything in Discord? I'd need to ask them like if creating a post works, but they're like debugging something on back end, so I will let them be. So I guess we'll call it for this right now. This is fine, like functionality's there. Just needs some debugging once we actually get posts working. So I think I'm gonna end the stream here. That was really fun for my first public stream. So yeah, I guess hope you guys enjoyed that, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.